So today's been a very busy day in the NFL. One of the busiest days I can honestly remember. First off, of course, we got the great news that Aaron Rodgers will be returning to the Packers. We saw Russell Wilson get traded to the Denver Broncos, which is pretty crazy, really shaking up the NFL. And now we just got official news from Dan Graziano here on Twitter saying, per source, the Packers officially franchised wide receiver Davante Adams. So the Packers have placed the franchise tag onto Davante Adams, with today being the final day they could potentially do that, which likely means they weren't able to work out a long-term extension. And with this happening, he will count as a $20 million cap hit for the Packers in 2022 at this time, which now means the Packers will have to add $20 million to the cap, to their current cap situation. So right now it's around 20-ish, 25 mil, somewhere in that range. It's going to spike up probably to around 40, 45, somewhere like that for a little while. We still do not know the terms of Aaron Rodgers, what's going to happen with the Aaron Rodgers contract, because he just said recently that, the report that the 4-year, $200 million contract that was reported by Ian Rappaport was false, and that he actually hasn't signed a contract yet. So we do not know what is going to happen with Aaron Rodgers' contract. I'm guessing that will also affect the salary cap. So right now, just what we know is that Aaron and Davante are scheduled to return to the Packers. I do think that, when Aaron Rodgers did decide to come back, I do think Davante is also going to be with the Packers in this next season, and I doubt he would want to get traded. Obviously, they could tag and trade Adams, but now with Rodgers back, I don't see that happening. I would assume that they weren't able to get a long-term deal worked out by the time this deadline happened, because we heard last week or 2 weeks ago, Brian Gutekunst said that they don't ever want to have to use the franchise tag. It's sort of a last resort. And so I think that with, Davante Adams, we knew in the past, he wants to be the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. The Packers didn't want to quite pay him as much as maybe he had asked. And so I think because they weren't able to agree to long-term, to long-term terms, basically, they decided to put the franchise tag on Davante because they don't want him to go out there and hit the free market. So now what can happen is they could, I believe the deadline to basically, work on a new deal with Davante is somewhere in July. I'll have to double check on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So they have now months and months to potentially work on a long-term extension, which I definitely think could happen. Now with Rodgers likely staying in Green Bay for at least a few more years, you would assume Davante would want to stay with Aaron if he's able to get a deal worked out with Green Bay. So hopefully they are able to get this deal worked out. If not, maybe he does play on a franchise tag for one season, then hits free agency next year. I guess that's a possibility. But it would be nice if the Packers were able to, lessen his cap hit for 2022 by working on some kind of long-term extension. So hopefully that is what happens. But now the fact that today we get news that Rodgers is back, and now also Davante Adams as well, not going to be, hidden free agency. Definitely great news, I think, for the Packers coming into this next season, because before this day, we didn't know if Rodgers was going to leave. If he left, I was a little more nervous about Davante wanting to leave, just because without Rodgers there, maybe he's like, Packers, sorry, I'm not going to play for you unless, please trade me somewhere else. So now that Rodgers is back, I'm very confident that Davante Adams will want to stay in Green Bay, and I'm hoping that will lead to the Packers and Davante Adams, being able to work out some kind of, long-term contract with Davante for hopefully the next few years to keep both Rodgers and Davante on the Packers. Because if the Packers weren't able to, have gotten things worked out with Davante, to lose Davante and keep Aaron, obviously that's not a great situation. The Packers definitely would need to, I think, make some kind of move in free agency if Davante were to leave. But I do feel like now he is going to be here on the franchise tag, unless they were to trade him, which I just don't see happening now with Aaron back on the Packers. So now that the Aaron Rodgers domino, that was the biggest one that Brian Gutekunst was talking about, that had to get worked out first. So now we do know Rodgers is back. We don't know the exact contract details about what they could potentially be. So now at least the Packers have, 8 days? Today's March 8th. March 16th is the day that the new league year starts, where the Packers have to be under the salary cap. So they have basically a week to get lots of, salary cap off of the current cap, or lots of money off the current salary cap, because we were still very high over the salary cap with Davante now costing $20 million against the cap. So who knows what they're going to do to get all that solved? Maybe, is it possible they work out a deal in the next few days with Davante? I don't know. You would think if they were going to do it soon, they would have already done it, but who knows? Maybe they release Zadarius Smith in the next few days, because that really seems like the most likely scenario, I would say. Maybe they find a way to keep him, but I just think with Preston Smith and, Rashawn Gary already here and saving $15 million by letting Zadarius Smith go, and the Packers were able to do pretty well last year without him, it would be sad to see him go, but the Packers will save around $15 million there. So I'm guessing we'll start seeing a lot more things happening. And one thing too, today on the Pat McAfee show, because Pat McAfee was the one to break the news of Aaron Rodgers deciding to come back, he did say that Aaron Rodgers was going to take like a team-friendly deal. I can't remember the exact wording, but it was something like that. So yes, I just looked at the tweet and it said that that it's going to be a cap-friendly deal. So I don't exactly know what that means for the Packers, but hopefully that will lessen Aaron Rodgers' cap hit because currently it's $46 million. So hopefully the Packers are able to keep lots of guys. Hopefully Rasul. I mean, I would love to keep Rasul Douglas. We still have, Robert Tonyan. What's going to happen there? Free agent, MVS. Will we put a tender on Alan Lazard? There's lots of question marks right now for the Packers with lots of different players who are free agents. So we will probably see some of those guys either signed in the next few days or potentially released, I guess. But I will keep you guys updated with all things Packers. But I think it's a very good day to be a Packers fan. Aaron Rodgers back once again. Davante Adams franchise tagged. Maybe that's not what he wanted, but the Packers do, now have control of Davante Adams. So great day for the Packers, but thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you guys have yet to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.